that intense frustration and anger that came up because I felt confused and like frustrated about not feeling clear, like all of that was purposeful. I wouldn't have been able to access that level of frustration and anger without that experience, right? So I wasn't actually like confused or being abandoned or misled at all. It was all perfectly orchestrated for me to be able to touch into those deeper feelings. So it's interesting how the guidance was actually clear from the beginning, right? It was like, stop seeing him romantically. But my mind was trying to make it fit, I guess my ego, right? Trying to make it fit into what my ego still wanted, which is I wasn't ready. I didn't feel ready to stop seeing him. And I didn't want to disappoint him. And yeah, there was a part of me that didn't want to let go. And so I was kind of like trying to like make a bargain or find like a hole. And so that's something I've actually heard also from an astrologer, like, because my connection with spirit is strong, I tend to kind of keep going there for reassurance. And when I am feeling emotions that are hard, instead of just being present and going through it, I kind of keep going back to the guidance to like, try to comfort myself or, hope for a different result. And really the thing to do is, get the guidance. You don't have to keep checking in, right? Just trust it. And then when feelings come up, like, to tend to those feelings, or engage in practices that help me to commit to the truth that I have become aware of, instead of trying to change or hope that, the truth is something different. So for this moon, for myself, I'm like wanting to manifest how I can live day to day in a way that keeps me connected to my source and my truth, and unifies and balances like all the different parts of me. Make the choice to do what, like, listen to your feelings and concentrate on your own happiness. And I was seeing how much, like, in all of my writing and everything to Stephen and with Tony, like, how much is like, there's this really deep fear about like hurting other people, like, disappointing him, hurting him, because I've already come to that realization before that, like, if I don't feel like even though he's amazing, if I don't feel that thing of like, I want to marry you and have your baby, and that's what I want, then, I have to let it go, for both of our sakes. And I've decided that, and it's been really hard, but then eventually we've gotten back together. And so then I'm like, well, maybe I'm wrong. Like, and people change. Like, maybe we both are like healing our own inner blocks to love, and then, we're going to get back together. It's hard to let go of something that feels really good at times. And also, I think there's other factors, like, I'm sure that Tony and I have been connected in other lifetimes, and so that it's not easy to just let that go. And again, to feel like I'm disappointing him. There's this part of me that's like, really like this idea of like, you know, we've been together this long, we've worked through so much, like it would be a great ending if we ended up together. Like, you know, a sort of like wanting to like reward his patience, or I don't know, I feel like knowing he deserves great love and wanting to be the one that gives that to him. And it's like, well, we both deserve that, and if it can't quite happen through this relationship, then we need to free ourselves. I need to focus on what is like connecting to what's true for me, and that's hard for me to do when I am in a relationship and worried about someone else's feelings all the time, and also going to like this fantasy of like thinking I will feel better when the relationship is at a certain status, or when the partner is in a different place, right? Basically, when he feels better, then I'll feel better, instead of just focusing directly on myself. I also learned today, so my Jupiter is in my 5th house in Leo, and I've always heard that that's about, you know, an abundance of like creativity and connection with children. So either my own children or the inner child, and you know, being like a performer and all of this. Well, in you know, there's different house systems in astrology, and in a system I'm looking at now, my Jupiter falls in my 4th house, which is the house of family and feelings. And it was all about like learning, like believing in my own feelings and trusting my own feelings. And I can see how like over the last decade, I mean more than that, but specifically like I just haven't, if I feel dissatisfied or unhappy, I keep thinking it just means I have to do more work on myself, you know, instead of just honoring how I feel and trusting it.